Dr. Leora Kestrel stared at the anomaly on her screen, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and exhilaration. For centuries, humanity had believed it understood the universe, its rules neat and predictable, governed by immutable laws of physics. Yet now, staring at data that refused to align with any known formula, she realized that the cosmos held secrets far beyond human comprehension. Galaxies twisted in impossible directions, particles moved of their own volition, and light bent as though reality itself had become fluid. Humanity had stumbled upon a universe where the familiar rules no longer applied. Governments and organizations on Earth reacted with caution and skepticism, but humanity's explorers and scientists saw opportunity. If humans could understand this anomaly, they could harness energies and possibilities that had been inconceivable. Faster than light travel, manipulation of matter and energy, and even glimpses of time's deeper layers. Dr. Kestrel's team designed the Aeon, a vessel equipped to survive a reality where physics was inconsistent. It was a ship of hope, of intellect, and of daring, manned by humans whose greatest weapon was their adaptability. The journey into the anomaly was unlike any experience humanity had faced. Conventional navigation failed, and the crew watched stars appear and vanish as space itself seemed to twist and pulse. Machines struggled to keep pace with the universe's chaos, but humans adapted. Unlike any artificial intelligence or alien species, humans could combine intuition with knowledge, improvising in the moment and finding patterns in what seemed random. They learned to anticipate the anomaly's moods, adjusting their course through observation, experimentation, and creativity. Inside the anomaly, the laws of physics became suggestions rather than rules. Gravity shifted without warning, time fractured, and matter appeared where none should exist. Yet humans pressed forward, driven by curiosity and an unyielding will to survive. They discovered energy fields that could be shaped into matter, regions where consciousness influenced probability, and phenomena that resembled life but defied biological definitions. The universe seemed responsive, as if it were alive, observing the humans with intelligence, testing their resolve and rewarding ingenuity. The crew faced dangers that would have destroyed any species reliant solely on rigid logic. Errors caused temporal dislocations, temporary intangibility, or catastrophic energy feedback. Yet humans turned even failure into insight, refining their methods and learning from the universe itself. They discovered that their greatest strength lay not in technology alone, but in the combination of intellect, empathy, and creativity. They could not conquer this universe. They had to understand, communicate, and cooperate with it. Over time, humans built stable structures within the anomaly, creating safe zones where matter could be manipulated, energy harnessed, and experimentation conducted. They learned to navigate the fluidity of space and time, using their minds as tools to interact with a universe that did not obey conventional rules. In doing so, humanity discovered something profound. Survival in this reality depended as much on moral judgment and collaboration as it did on intelligence. Selfishness or fear caused instability, while cooperation amplified results. Settlements grew, first as small stations and then as thriving hubs of innovation. Humans cultivated new forms of energy, reshaped matter, and even experimented with glimpses of temporal threads, observing past events without disrupting them. Every advance reflected uniquely human qualities: curiosity, resilience, adaptability, and the ability to learn from mistakes. Unlike machines or any other species, humans could improvise, interpret, and empathize, turning the universe's chaos into opportunity. As centuries passed, humans returned to Earth and other known worlds, bringing knowledge and technologies that defied imagination. Space travel became instantaneous, energy sources limitless, and communication instantaneous across vast distances. Yet humanity remained humble, aware that their mastery was not conquest but adaptation. They had learned to negotiate with reality itself, respecting the universe's intelligence and their own responsibility to wield it wisely. Children born in these new eras explored worlds shaped by human ingenuity and universal cooperation. They learned that intelligence alone was not enough. Survival required creativity, ethics, and the courage to face the unknown. Humanity had discovered that the limits of reality were not fixed, and that they could shape destiny with insight, collaboration, and determination. The universe beyond physics had not destroyed them. It had revealed the extraordinary potential of the species. Dr. Kestrel, older now, reflected on the journey from her vantage above a revitalized Earth. Rivers flowed clear. Cities thrived with technology seamlessly integrated into nature, and colonies on distant worlds pulsed with life. Humanity had ventured into the incomprehensible and turned chaos into order, fear into exploration, and mystery into knowledge. The species had survived not by luck or divine favor, but by imagination, courage, and the unwavering application of intellect. In the end, humanity realized that salvation was not found in certainty or control, but in the willingness to adapt, to understand, and collaborate with forces far beyond comprehension. The universe beyond physics had become a teacher, and humans had proven uniquely capable of learning its lessons. Across stars, planets, and dimensions, humanity endured, not as conquerors, but as thinkers, creators, and survivors, forging a legacy that would endure as long as curiosity and courage remained at the heart of their existence. As humanity ventured deeper into the anomaly, the environment became increasingly surreal. Stars looped back on themselves, casting light in impossible angles, and shadows seemed to move independently of their sources. Time itself behaved unpredictably. Seconds stretched into hours, while hours vanished in the blink of an eye. Machines, designed for predictable laws of physics, failed repeatedly, but humans adapted. They learned to rely on intuition, improvisation, and a unique combination of intellect and creativity that no algorithm could replicate. Crew members on the Aeon began to notice subtle patterns in the chaos. Energy pulses from the anomaly seemed responsive to thought, emotion, and collective focus. When fear dominated the crew, the universe around them became violent and unpredictable. When curiosity and collaboration prevailed, pathways stabilized, and structures could hold their shape. It became clear, survival in this universe was not merely a matter of technology. It required understanding the conscious nature of the anomaly itself. The first encounters with native phenomena were awe-inspiring. Shifting, luminous forms drifted through the void, morphing with every pulse of energy. They were not hostile, but they responded to intent. The humans realized they were communicating in the only way possible, through focus, observation, and empathy. One experiment involved guiding a strand of energy into a stable form. When successful, it shimmered with a brilliance that illuminated surrounding chaos. The crew began to comprehend that reality in this domain was malleable, shaped by perception and intent as much as by any external force. Every day brought new challenges. Crew members occasionally became partially intangible, existing in multiple locations simultaneously, while others experienced temporal loops, reliving moments that never truly repeated. These events were dangerous, but they were also rich in information. Humans meticulously recorded every anomaly, mapping the boundaries between order and chaos, learning to navigate an environment where traditional science offered no guarantees. Over months, the humans built the first permanent structures within the anomaly. They were fragile by conventional standards, yet resilient because they responded dynamically to the shifting universe. Energy shields conformed to unpredictable flows, quantum frameworks adapted to impossible geometries, and living spaces remained habitable despite the absence of fixed laws. Humans were not imposing order. They were collaborating with the universe, shaping and being shaped in return. The deeper they went, the more humanity realized its uniqueness. Machines, no matter how advanced, could not adapt as rapidly or creatively as humans. Alien species, if they existed, had yet to demonstrate the combination of intuition, empathy, and experimentation that allowed humans to thrive. Survival here required more than logic. It demanded imagination, courage, and the willingness to embrace uncertainty. Humanity's greatest strength lay in the very qualities that often seemed irrelevant in a world governed by predictable laws. As settlements expanded within the anomaly, humans began experimenting with its deeper properties. They learned to manipulate energy into matter, stabilize temporal fluctuations, and even glimpse multiple potential futures without altering them. They discovered that consciousness itself could influence probability, allowing humans to create stable regions where physics was flexible but survivable. Each success reinforced a lesson: knowledge alone was insufficient. Survival required creativity applied with discipline and cooperation. Despite their growing mastery, humans remained humble. The anomaly was vast, its rules subtle and often inscrutable. Every new breakthrough was tempered by respect for the forces at play. They realized that arrogance could result in catastrophic destabilization, while collaboration and shared intent amplified their abilities. Humanity's achievements were not the result of domination, but of careful observation, thoughtful experimentation, and profound respect for the universe itself. Earth, Mars, and other familiar worlds awaited the knowledge the humans were acquiring. Each new discovery held the potential to revolutionize life across the known galaxy. Faster-than-light travel, energy without limits, and the ability to stabilize environments previously deemed uninhabitable were no longer dreams. They were becoming reality. Yet the most profound discovery was philosophical. Survival in a universe beyond physics was not about control, but about adaptation, empathy, and understanding. Children born in this era learned differently. They were taught to navigate chaos, to improvise, to consider intention as a force in itself. They explored worlds where thought and observation shaped reality, learning that knowledge and imagination were inseparable. Humanity's greatest legacy was no longer mere survival. It was a cultivation of a species capable of thriving in ways no one had previously imagined. Dr. Kestrel watched the anomaly from her observation deck. Older but wiser, humanity had ventured where no other species could, not through brute strength or computational power, but through intellect, courage, and creativity. They had turned what could have been annihilation into an opportunity, demonstrating that the species was capable of navigating realities far beyond conventional comprehension. And yet, she knew this was only the beginning. The universe beyond physics remained vast, full of mysteries that would challenge every assumption. But humanity had learned the most important lesson. Survival was not about predicting every outcome. It was about cultivating the skills, knowledge, and spirit to respond effectively, creatively, and ethically to the unknown. Humans had discovered a universe beyond physics, and in doing so, they had discovered themselves. Their resilience, adaptability, and ingenuity had turned chaos into opportunity, fear into exploration, and observation into creation. Across stars, worlds, and dimensions, humanity endured, not as conquerors, but as thinkers, innovators, and survivors, proving that intelligence guided by imagination and empathy could overcome even the incomprehensible. As humans pushed further into the anomaly, the universe itself seemed to respond more clearly to their presence. Energy pulses, once erratic and chaotic, began to align with intention. The luminous entities, previously mysterious and unpredictable, now approached openly, interacted with the crew in ways that suggested understanding and mutual respect. Dr. Kestrel realized that humans were not merely observers in a strange reality. They were participants. Their choices, emotions, and collective focus had a tangible effect, shaping the environment in ways no technology alone could achieve. The crew began to experiment cautiously with this newfound influence. They manipulated energy fields to create temporary habitats, stabilized pockets of matter where physics was flexible but survivable, and explored areas where time itself branched into multiple potential threads. Each experiment was meticulously documented, and each success reinforced a lesson that humans' unique combination of intellect, creativity, and empathy allowed them to thrive where others could not. Yet the anomaly remained dangerous. Minor miscalculations caused temporal distortions, spatial inversions, and unpredictable energy surges. Crew members sometimes became partially displaced across time and space, experiencing moments of existence in parallel realities. These events, terrifying as they were, became opportunities for understanding. Humans learned to adapt quickly, using intuition to guide action and collective focus to stabilize dangerous phenomena. They were turning survival into mastery, but only because they were willing to learn and innovate constantly. Over decades, humanity established the first stable settlements within the anomaly. These were not conventional colonies, but living, adaptive structures that existed in harmony with the fluid universe. Buildings shaped themselves according to energy flows, and habitats could respond dynamically to environmental shifts. Humans had learned to coexist with the anomaly rather than attempting to dominate it, forging a relationship that relied on respect, observation, and the application of imagination as a tool of survival. Communication across these settlements became a study in new physics. Traditional signals were useless, so humans developed methods that combined intention, quantum entanglement, and collective focus. Messages traveled instantaneously through energy fields, allowing coordination over immense distances within the anomaly. Humans discovered that thought, will, and observation could be harnessed as instruments of interaction, further proving that they were uniquely equipped to navigate a reality that defied conventional laws. The philosophical implications were profound. Humanity realized that the anomaly was not simply a region of space where physics failed. It was a realm where consciousness, intention, and creativity were forces as fundamental as energy or matter. Survival here required ethical understanding, collaboration, and empathy as much as intelligence. Individualism and recklessness caused instability, while cooperation and shared purpose amplified their ability to shape and understand the universe. As knowledge grew, humans began to experiment with applications that would have been unimaginable on Earth. They created stable energy sources without fuel, instantaneously traveled across vast distances, and explored temporal threads to observe historical events without altering them. These breakthroughs promised to revolutionize human civilization, not just in this anomaly, but across the known galaxy. Humanity was no longer confined by traditional laws. They were architects of possibility itself. Yet with power came responsibility. The anomaly was a delicate ecosystem, responsive to human action, and every experiment carried consequences. Humans learned to approach every interaction with care, understanding that even a small mistake could cascade into catastrophe. Ethical training became as crucial as technical skill. Curiosity had to be balanced with restraint, and creativity tempered with foresight. Humanity's survival was not guaranteed. It was earned through wisdom, collaboration, and moral discipline. Children born in these new settlements were taught differently. They learned to perceive reality as malleable, to anticipate consequences, and to understand that thought, intention, and collaboration were as essential as any tool or technology. Humanity's greatest lesson was not merely how to survive, but how to thrive in harmony with a universe that demanded respect, insight, and creativity. These children grew up capable of navigating chaos, shaping reality, and contributing to a civilization that had transcended conventional limits. Dr. Kestrel, now older and reflecting on decades of exploration, realized that humanity had not merely survived, they had evolved. The species had demonstrated capacity for innovation, empathy, and courage that allowed them to turn an incomprehensible and hostile environment into a realm of opportunity. Humanity had discovered that intelligence alone was insufficient. It was a combination of intellect, creativity, and ethical understanding that ensured survival and progress in a universe beyond physics. Humanity began to extend its influence beyond the anomaly. Knowledge and techniques developed within it allowed safe travel across previously unreachable regions of space. Colonies thrived on Mars, Europa, Titan, and even distant exoplanets, guided by principles learned from interacting with the anomaly. Energy systems, matter manipulation, and quantum-based communications transformed civilization. Humans had taken the lessons of a universe beyond physics and applied them to ensure survival, growth, and prosperity across multiple worlds. The anomaly itself became a living laboratory, a proving ground, and a teacher. Humanity had learned to observe, adapt, and collaborate with forces far beyond comprehension. They had discovered that survival was not simply about mastering laws, but about cultivating insight, creativity, and morality. Humans had proven that their species was capable of turning chaos into order, uncertainty into understanding, and the incomprehensible into opportunity. Dr. Kestrel watched the anomaly from the observation deck of a massive orbital station, seeing countless settlements pulse with life and energy. Humans were scattered across multiple dimensions and worlds, yet united by curiosity, intelligence, and a commitment to survival. They had faced the unimaginable and emerged not as conquerors, but as explorers, innovators, and collaborators with a universe that had once seemed hostile and unknowable. Humanity had discovered a universe beyond physics, and in doing so, they had discovered themselves. The species had transformed fear into curiosity, chaos into opportunity, and uncertainty into mastery. Across stars, planets, and dimensions, humanity endured, proving that intellect guided by creativity and morality could overcome even the incomprehensible. The universe beyond physics had not defeated them. It had revealed the extraordinary potential of species willing to imagine, innovate, and survive against all odds. As centuries passed, Humans had transformed the anomaly from a perilous enigma into a realm of possibility. Entire settlements flourished within it, connected by networks of thought-driven communication and stabilized energy fields. The anomaly had become a bridge between realities, a proving ground where the limits of imagination were tested and expanded. Humanity had learned to shape energy, manipulate matter, and navigate temporal threads with precision, all while respecting the delicate balance of a universe that responded to intent as much as observation. Yet even in triumph, challenges persisted. The anomaly revealed its ultimate lesson. Power without understanding or empathy could destabilize existence itself. Small factions, tempted by ambition, attempted to exploit the universe's malleability for personal gain. When they acted recklessly, temporal distortions erupted, energy surges destabilized settlements, and portions of space-time threatened collapse. Humanity realized that mastery required not just intellect, but moral discipline, cooperation, and a shared commitment to life itself. Dr. Kestrel convened the Council of Anomaly Governance, composed of the wisest scientists, philosophers, and ethicists from multiple colonies. Together, they established principles that guided interaction with the anomaly: observation before action, collaboration over selfishness, and experimentation tempered with foresight. Humanity's greatest triumph was not technological. It was ethical. The species had learned that survival and advancement depended on a harmony of intellect and morality, creativity and restraint. As humans expanded their reach beyond the anomaly, they applied these lessons across the galaxy. Mars, Titan, Europa, and distant exoplanets thrive under guidance informed by anomaly experience. Energy systems operated with unprecedented efficiency. Cities harmonized with their ecosystems, and transportation across light years became routine. Humans were no longer limited by physics as they once knew it. They had discovered that reality itself could be engaged, negotiated with, and understood through intelligence, creativity, and ethical action. The anomaly itself remained a central hub of exploration and innovation. Humans mapped its deepest regions, observed phenomena that existed beyond conventional time, and studied entities that responded to thought, emotion, and collective focus. Each discovery reshaped understanding of life, consciousness, and reality. Humans realized that survival in this universe was not about dominance, but about partnership with forces greater than themselves. They had transformed fear into cooperation, chaos into knowledge, and unpredictability into a canvas for creativity. Children born within these new settlements grew up with a radically different worldview. They learned that observation and intention shape reality, that collaboration was essential, and that knowledge carried responsibility. They explored the anomaly not with trepidation, but with curiosity and courage, understanding that imagination and morality were as crucial as intellect. Humanity's greatest legacy was no longer mere survival. It was a cultivation of a species capable of thriving in ways previously unimaginable. Even as humans mastered energy, matter, and time within the anomaly, they never lost humility. They recognized that the universe was vast, complex, and indifferent, and that understanding it required patience, insight, and ethical judgment. Every experiment, every innovation, every settlement was a dialogue with a reality that demanded respect. Humans have become stewards of possibility, capable of shaping life and knowledge while preserving balance and harmony. Dr. Kestrel, reflecting on centuries of exploration, realized that humanity's journey had proven a profound truth. Survival was not granted by circumstance or power alone. It was forged by creativity, empathy, collaboration, and the courage to confront the unknown. Humanity had ventured into a universe beyond physics and emerged not merely intact, but evolved smarter, wiser, and more resilient than ever before. The anomaly became a symbol of human potential. Across the stars, settlements pulsed with life, experimentation, and innovation. Humans had shown that even in a universe where rules were malleable, intelligence guided by morality and creativity could thrive. They had turned chaos into opportunity, uncertainty into discovery, and the incomprehensible into a realm of possibility. And in the quiet moments, when the lights of distant colonies shimmered against the infinite darkness, humans reflected on their journey. They had faced the unimaginable, survived against impossible odds, and discovered that the universe's greatest challenges could be met with courage, intellect, and ethical insight. Humanity had proven that their species was capable of transcending the limits of known reality, turning survival into mastery and knowledge into salvation. In the end, the universe beyond physics was not conquered. It was understood, respected, and engaged. Humanity had transformed from explorers into architects of possibility, demonstrating that intellect combined with empathy and creativity could navigate even the most unpredictable realities. Across dimensions, planets, and stars, humanity endured, leaving a legacy that would endure as long as imagination, courage, and morality guided their species. Dr. Kestrel looked toward the anomaly one last time, a gentle smile on her face. Humanity had discovered the universe beyond physics, and in doing so, had discovered the extraordinary potential of itself. They had turned fear into knowledge, chaos into opportunity, and uncertainty into triumph. Across the cosmos, their story echoed. Intelligence, creativity, and ethical courage could overcome even the incomprehensible, and in the vastness of space, humanity had proven that survival was only the beginning.